I grew up in California.
Okay, where at? What town? I'm sorry? No, I know Sugar Springs, which is like an hour. So I just don't really know.
Okay, I've been in different areas.
Okay.
But yeah, I was
Awesome. And when did you move here? Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to work. We have a big packed meeting today. We're starting a little late. We're having some technology issues with Facebook Live, and so we're trying to get everybody on and figure out a way we can do it. We're switching over to YouTube now as we speak. So anyway, so happy that you all are here to introduce your name today. So first of all, tell me something good. What's going on in your world? Yes?
I'm back in the office after a month. So
You're back in the office after a month?
Yeah, I see that's what I saw.
We did. Let's go. Natalie.
Well, I met Benjamin, and we are in good hands because as soon as we had our first conversation, he started picking my brain about all kinds of stuff, and so I'm excited. I think that he's going to be a good fit to fill for Regina, even though we're going to deal with this.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
That's good. I'm glad to hear. Who else? Yes, Matthew.
Our second ISA, Keisha, starts today.
And she's already, you guys are already killing it with your last ISA, so good job. Nailed it. Good job. Anybody else? Something good. Could be anything. Doesn't have to. Who's getting their car washed today? That's something good. You love the car wash guy. I love the car wash guy.
I went on vacation.
You went
What?
on vacation. That's something new. That's fantastic. Good for you. You need a vacation, right? Yeah. I was a hard worker like many of you. All right. So we have a ton to cover, so let's just get right to our sponsors. Where's our sponsors in the house today? Meredith?
Yes.
You go first? Sure, come on. Bring your
Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully everybody had a fabulous 4th of July, whether you were vacationing or working. Usually school's going to start in like 2 weeks. It's crazy. For those of you who don't know, my name is Meredith Koji. I'm with Starkey Mortgage. We're one of the in-house lenders here at Keller Williams. And just want to tell you 2 quick things. They're still doing the hardest hit fund with Georgia Dream. They have about 700 reservations still available. $15,000 does not have to be paid back if you stay in the house for 5 years. Selected metro counties, unfortunately, it's not in Cobb. A lot of people have asked about that, but it is Fulton, Gwinnett. Some of the others locally.
The 15 is not just for teachers and firefighters and all.
15 is for everybody across the board. There are some credit score requirements, debt to income requirements and such, but usually it's 5,075, so 15 is a huge difference. So if you have anybody that may fit into that category, let me know. And then we also have a second mortgage lender investor that we've just added on. They will do up to $500,000 on a second mortgage. So if you're trying to avoid mortgage insurance or you're in a jumbo category and you want to add on a $500,000 second to make it come together, there are some opportunities there as well. So, yes?
What's the income requirement on the Georgia Dream?
If you are one person household, they actually just increased that too. I believe it's 70,000 for one person. 2 people, it goes up to like 85. And then 3 or more, I think it's like 89. And then after that, it levels out. All right, if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Meredith. Is Home Warranty of America here? Where is she? Right here. There she is. Come on down.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are y'all today?
I'm Angela Garner with Home Warranty of America, HWA, the 13-month home warranty. For those of y'all don't know, we have some great new options and things that we are offering in 2017. And one of those things is rekey service. So on our Platinum Diamond plan, it's included. You don't know who your seller gave the keys out to, and they probably forgot half who they gave the keys out to as well. My coworker actually bought a house a few years ago, and her husband went out of town, came back, and the next door neighbor was bringing her bar stools back because he borrowed them. He had a key to the house. They didn't know it, so it's time to rekey. So with HWA, they liked their neighbors and everything. She just wasn't aware. She had to rekey their locks. But with HWA on our Platinum and Diamond plan, it's automatically included. Right after closing, they can go and have somebody come out, and we'll key up to 6 locks, 4 keys in those plans for that. So that's something new that's exclusive with HWA. We also have added outside water and sewer lines to the street. Forever, you've always heard that that you know we're just inside the confines of the home. Well, now HWA is offering repairs coverage for your water and sewer lines septic that goes to the street as well. That's optional coverage that the buyer can add, or if you want to add, if you've got extra money that you want to add, those are that's an option for you if you have that concern. The buyer has that concern of coverage for that, so we have that. We still have 3 great plans. Our basic plan that you can kind of add things to it as you want to, pick and choose different things and make it as you want to fit your property needs. Or you can get the Mac Daddy, our diamond plan. That's big, it covers just about everything that you would need in a home warranty. And we offer we offer septic and coverage as well on that. And we have free seller's coverage that's complimentary to your seller during a listing period. We don't require them to purchase it for the buyer to get that. And let's see, I'm trying to think what else we have. We added a concierge program for agents only this year. It's a better way to be able to make sure that you are taking care of, your clients are taken care of. If you call me as I'm your rep, I might be standing in front of an office like this talking, and you have something emergency that you want to get taken care of or question. You can call that concierge desk, and they will escalate a claim or take care of any issues or answer any questions that you have. I will be included on that, so that's just double way of making sure that you're taken care of with HWA. I'm thinking anything else? Yes.
Just last time I had a client that needed, you guys did the warranty on it, and I think the vendor denied it, and then you got involved. And not that every time you can wave your magic wand and make it go away, but this particular time you did, and they were very, very appreciative, and actually just sold the property. And they referenced that, remember you got it's like they blamed me for it. They said, remember you got our air conditioner covered for us? So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And you know, a home warranty doesn't cover everything. That's the thing to know. And I like to educate everybody on what a home warranty is and what to expect, setting the right expectations, because that helps you as the agent when their expectations are set correctly on what to expect with a home warranty. It doesn't cover everything, but it's going to cover your failures, the mechanicals and systems compliance, if they'll do the normal wear and tear that breakdown in the future. Anything that's caused by an act of God or a man-made problem that was broken or something like that, that's not going to be a home warranty issue. But sometimes the faster you get me involved, the better it is for your client. And if there's any issues, and that's what the concierge program is, so you can go ahead and get it escalated. And I get involved too, and I fight for you too and make sure the right thing is going to happen for your client on a claim.
Do you come out prior to your closings that you can either look at the HVAC and guarantee that it's going to be covered, or?
No, on HVAC, we don't come out and inspect anything. we cover unknown pre-existing in all our plans, but with, you get a home inspection, you want to make sure that those are tested. If they can test them, sometimes because of the weather they can't. But it's imperative to have that if you want to prove unknown pre-existing conditions. But that would be in the home inspection. If, like right now, they're not going to test the heat, I would suggest to your buyer, as soon as the weather changed, don't wait till you need the heat, to have an HVAC specialist come out and be able to service it. So you can have documents that it was in proper working order. So when you need the heat, or the air, vice versa, it's going to be working, and if it doesn't, then you can have coverage. It won't be considered pre-existing. So that,
All right, thank you very much.
thank you. I'll give us a call.
National Property Inspection, come on down. Everyone welcome him, take him for breakfast.
I brought half your breakfast today, not the bagels. I brought the some of the fruit and the muffins.
Yeah, that was HWA on that bagels.
We all enjoy a nice light breakfast today. I wanted to talk about a different type of warranty. This is a smart home service plan. This covers some of the more critical components of the home. It does cover the sewer lines from the street to the home, and also if it's on septic from the home to the septic tanks. It does not cover the tank itself though. As long as no visible mold was found at the time of inspection, this would also cover for mold coverage, alarm monitoring and wiring issues, radon. If a radon test was performed at the time of inspection and the levels come back low, then this would cover them if in the event, like say, a couple years down the road, they go to sell the house and the buyer has a radon test performed and it comes back high, this warranty would cover mitigation on that system. Termite plan, as long as no termites were found during the home inspection, this would cover them for any wood-destroying organisms and termites. One of the really good benefits of having this plan, there's three different plans in here: the Premier, the Platinum, and the Diamond plan. Each one will just cover more and more in the event of an issue. One of the best things that I think about this plan is every year that they continue to cover it, just myself or one of my inspectors will come back to the home and provide a free home inspection, a 25-point home inspection on all the critical components of the home that could affect some of these things. Just as peace of mind to make sure that, there's nothing to be worried about or concerned about with the home. That is not a free service. There's, like I said, there's 3 different plan levels that they can choose from. I also left in front of you all a flyer for mold testing. We do offer mold testing. We do surface sampling or air quality testing. And that usually, I talk to my clients about that on site if necessary. If I come out of the crawl space and I find that there's, some visible signs of suspected fungal growth, I'll start talking to them about different options that they have. Not every home needs to be tested for mold. If it appears to be confined underneath maybe a bathroom sink, a swab or a surface sample may be all that's necessary. Those run $85 per sample. We send all of our samples to a lab, a certified lab. They test it, and we get our results back within 24 to 48 hours. If they want to go one step further to see if there's any airborne spores throughout the home, that's a $250 test for free air samples there. Same turnaround time on the results with that. 24 to 48. Yeah, usually 24. If it happens to be closer to the weekend, it may be Monday. The last thing I want to go over with you all is this booklet here. I didn't have enough of them with me to pass out to everybody, but this gets handed out to every client at the end of all of our inspections. A couple pages into it, you come across this page, and this has everything that's included free with every home inspection that we offer. We like to call ourselves Atlanta's most unique inspection service because we are always trying to add some sort of additional free service or plan or something to just benefit the buyers or benefit sellers or really benefit anybody. I'll briefly go through all this. We do a 90-day warranty that covers $500 structural and $2,000 mechanical systems. A complete recall check of all the appliances in the home, so every month they'll get an email. That email is auto-generated from your email, so that's every month, that's one more touch that you have with the client. That's 12 to 13 a year emails that will get sent from you. And that's something that they will have access to for the entire, as long as they live in that home. They can add anything to the recall check, as small as a coffee maker, as big as a furnace. And every month they'll be notified if there's any recalls. Platinum Roof Protection Plan. This guarantees the roof not to leak for 5 years from the time of inspection. If I inspect the roof and say that there's some issues needed or it needs a roofer to further evaluate it, once that roofer makes their repairs and does their evaluation, that's when this plan starts. So they do still get the plan. Sewer Guard protects the main sewer and water line from the street to the home or the home to the septic tank. In the event of a break there's $2,000 coverage available here. Mold safe plan, as long as no visible mold is observed at the time of inspection, so cover the living spaces for up to 90 days from the time of inspection. Termite plan, as long as no termites were found at the time of inspection.
You're done.
Anyone
else brave enough to go up there now?
30 seconds. I'm going to wait to hand these out at the end. We've been talking a lot about fraud and all that, so what I've done is I've just created a little buyer information sheet for you guys. Just something you can put or give to your buyers, and basically it starts talking about the process of, now we send secure emails and then there's a portal and you get a file number. I'm kind of finding that's kind of overwhelming some clients, and it's taking us a little while to get those sheets back. So it might be a good idea to go ahead and put those into either your presentation or give it to them up front, so that when they get this information, it will not be the first time they've seen it. And then in bold, I have put a statement, and I will also email this around too, that we do not wire or email the wiring instructions, okay? And that if they get any type of emailed wiring instructions, they should consider those to be fraudulent, and that they should contact us immediately. This would be a good thing to have in every folder, just in case. Every week I hear more anecdotes of people getting taken by fraud and money is gone, and they're getting better at it, and they're not getting it back, which is a bad thing. And in one case, it blew up the transaction, I heard. So their money was gone. They don't have more money to replace it, and that's really sad. So anyway, that's something just to protect you, to protect your buyers, just more CYA for you. And like I said, I will also email this out so that you can have it electronically if you send stuff to your buyers electronically. Any questions? Nope. All right, before I get hooked, have a good week.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Fran. Look at
Everybody's still scared to come up.
We have a clean house.
They're all scared now. All right, who's next? We have somebody else. They're all scared now. I guess it's it, okay. New listings, we're gonna talk about new listings and caravans up front today. So do we have one?
Moving caravan. Jennifer Haggard. She's here.
She's not here. Jennifer Haggard has a caravan. Where is it? It is in Sandy Springs on Old Creek Trail. Look at we're fancy now. We can do all kinds of stuff.
Wrong way. There we go. All
And by
right.
the way, we have a microphone built into the ceiling now too, so we're working on technology. We're still having some glitches over today. But here's Jennifer, here's this pretty house.
Also, the details, guys, the details are on the front of your agenda now, so you can take it with you, so you won't come out with you or myself with your addresses later. Right there.
Look at this, looks like something out of a magazine. So don't support Jennifer today in Sandy Springs, it's not far, I don't know if she's doing a giveaway or if it's food or whatever, but I'm sure she is. All right,
Lunch.
let's see.
You can't beat lunch.
Lunch, there you go, lunch.
And drinks?
Oh, I know what I was gonna do. If you are new to Keller Williams Buckhead in the last month, would you please stand up?
Pixie dusters. Pixie dusters, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm like, I see you so often. No, stay standing. Stay standing. I want you all to introduce yourself real quick. Just say your name because everyone here is going to see you around the office and I want to make sure that they know who you are. If they have an open house opportunity or a client really far away that they don't want to deal with or whatever that is, these are the hungry folks that will take your business off your hands. So do you want to start?
Good morning. My name is Chris Bolden, new agent. Looking forward to taking your business. Good morning, Michael Williams, new agent. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
Tiffany Newborn.
She's happy.
Are you happy to be here?
I'm Keisha Down. I'm excited to be here too.
Very good.
Erin Barnes. This is my third week.
Third week?
Yes, excited to be here. ISA.
Both of them are on the start.
Yes.
So, good job. All right, and our latest new person that we're also very excited about is our own Benjamin Bisson. Come on up, Benjamin. How many of you have met Benjamin so far? Yay! So give him a warm welcome. So Benjamin and I met at the Luxury Retreat, kind of by accident. I was at the Luxury Retreat in California a few months back, and he happened to sit at a table with Carla. We were kind of assigned seats, and so he sat with Carla. And she came up and introduced him afterwards, and we got to talking. It's a long story, but we got to talking at that event all throughout the event. And I asked him the same question that I asked everybody, which is, what's your 5-year plan? And he, without hesitation, said, I want to be a team leader. And I was like, well then, okay. So I said, how are you going to get there? And we started talking. He said, well, one of the first things I need to do is get a leadership position and maybe a productivity coach or something like that. And so we started talking about that and his passion for people, and that he's been a coach before, which he's going to tell you about in a minute. He's grown up in the real estate world. His family owns a big luxury team in Maine, so he knows the business. He's been around it for a while, and I'll let him finish that story. But you guys are in very, very capable hands. So I'm going to allow him the next few minutes. No hook. You can take it all.
I was going to say, you might want to keep that out.
No hook. I'm going to let you talk as long as you want so that they have an opportunity to get to know you. So everybody, welcome Benjamin.
I'm just going to grab some water here so I can make sure I'm able to talk. Okay, thank you. Down, arrow. All right, down, go forward.
Benjamin, if you'll walk on the other side so people in Facebook can see you, because I've got it sharing the screen and you at the same time.
Great. Well, thank you all for the warm welcome. My affirmation for this morning is I'm a great public speaker. That's where I'm headed. So
let's help him out. I'm a great public speaker. Say it with me.
I'm a great public speaker.
There you go.
Yeah, I was in the back actually saying it. I was like, I wonder if people think I'm crazy. Just mouthing, I'm a great public speaker. So my intention today was to bring some value. I wanted to come in with some great facts, some knowledge, wisdom, and I wanted to be able to present it to you and wow the crowd with, you know, what I know. You know, I'm 26 years old. I'm been in the business for 5 years, and I must know something I can give this crowd that, you know, would help them in their real estate business. And I thought about that, and I decided that that wasn't the right thing to do. That's not where I come from. That's not what I think will help me better serve you. So I decided that I would come from where I'm at and tell you a little bit about myself, where I come from, and give you some of my story so that you can better know me, and then we can get to know each other, and we can work together in the future. So one of my favorite quotes I'm going to hold that up. I'm going to give you some facts first, just about myself. So I was born and raised in Maine. My family has been in real estate forever. They used to flip properties, and then my mom got in the business 10 years ago and joined Keller Williams out of the Portland Market Center in Maine. She got into business as a third job. We all attended the Ski and Snowboard Academy, which was really expensive, and so she had to make ends meet. My dad worked at the school, my mom worked at the school, and she also worked 2 jobs. So she took real estate as a third job, had no intention of it becoming a career or anything like that, just something to supplement income. Well, her first year in, she did pretty well. She took hold, and they started talking about what could she dream to do, and people were like, well, what about, could you make $100,000 in a year? And she was like, no way. And fast forward to now, and you know that happens sometimes in a month. So that's, you know, how far she's come in that journey. So I grew up a competitive ski and snowboard at a competitive ski and snowboard academy in Maine. That was my life until I was 18. I was injured a bunch and decided to move on from that. I went to college in Santa Barbara, California, at Westmont College, and I studied surfing with a minor in art. That was it. I lived a mile from Rincon, and I did some homework. So while I was in California, I worked at Keller Williams Santa Barbara alongside some luxury agents out there. I did that for a year, and then as soon as I graduated, I moved home and got licensed. Started working with my family in 2013, and since then we've tripled the business, and we're on track to do $30 million this year. Sell $30 million this year. And I have done in the past all their marketing, some sales, lead gen stuff for them, and that has been really fun. I'm excited to move into leadership. Like Susan said, this is my dream, so I'm in my dream job. It happened a lot faster than I expected, and I'm excited for that. So with those facts, I'm just kind of going to get right into it and tell you a little bit about myself and where I come from. So one of my favorite quotes is from Simon Sinek, who wrote Start With Why, which we talk about in Keller Williams, you know, what's your big why all the time. It says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So I'm here today to tell you not what I do. I don't sell real estate. I don't productivity coach, or I'm not here to tell you about that. I'm here to tell you why I do those things. So, it's the down arrow, right? So this was my original why. When I first graduated college, my dream was to travel the world. One of my favorite quotes used to be, the world is a book. Those who don't travel only read one page. So here's all the places that I went, all the things that I did. This is me and my friends running naked through a coliseum in Turkey. I studied abroad in the Middle East, went to Thailand, Egypt, New Zealand in high school to snowboard, and all over the place. So that was my dream. That was what I thought was my big why. Which, when you get into the business, sometimes you think you have a big why, and then you realize you'll quickly compromise that in order to sleep in, to not make your phone calls, not do whatever. So this quickly was compromised, and I needed something better to stand on. So when I was a little kid, my mom said from 0 to 2, I was the perfect child. She said I was an angel, and then I got sick.
Yourself an angel child?
I didn't call myself an angel child. She called me. And then she said I got sick at 2 and I never got better. So I got this sickness called wild child, and my mom has been worrying about me ever since. If you can stand on it sideways and it goes fast, I wanted to do it growing up. So I, from a young age, was skateboarding and snowboarding and anything I could to hurt myself and to worry my mom. I used to throw rocks at people. I was horrible. So that was me growing up. And you can see some things never change, and I still can't stay on the ground or go slow. So this is my dad. My dad is my hero. My mom is as well. This story speaks more about my dad as my hero. And we're going to go from water skiing to scuba diving real quick here. So this is my dad. He is a strong believer, hard worker, teetotaler, very disciplined, wakes up at 4, goes to bed at 11, has done the same thing in every job his whole life, and just been an incredible role model to me as a man and as a businessman. So he's also just like me, and I get my adventurous spirit from him. He surfs in the winter with me in Maine. He can ride a unicycle, wakeboard, ski. He used to hit the biggest jumps, and all the people were amazed by him. This is him with George Bush. I don't know why I put that in there. It's just awesome. That's cool. He gave him a pair of Maine Bean boots, which was awesome. So, and my dad and I have always had a very unique connection because of this. There's kind of two sides to us. There's this deep, introspective side, very contemplative side. We can, get together and talk for hours. And then there's this side. Us at a wedding is usually dangerous, and there's no alcohol needed. But we will shut down the dance floor, and we will make sure everybody else is having a lot of fun. Yeah. Any dance at family reunion, he and I will be out there. So you can look forward to that, or stay as far away as you want. So my dad and I have been really tight forever. We have a unique connection, which is surfing. We learned together when I was a young teenager, and he was never that good, but he did get there eventually. So this is kind of what we do. We go in Maine in the cold water, in the winter, whenever, snowing, sunny, it doesn't matter. We get out in the water together, and it's usually just us because no one else in Maine wants to surf when it's cold. So we have a lot of fun together doing that. Now my dad and I were surfing one day, and we were out in the, this is where we're going from water skiing to scuba diving. So my dad and I were surfing, and my dad is not that good. He was on a very small board, and I had seen him paddle into a wave, and he fell in front of the wave, and what happens is the wave pushes the board, and they always say, don't get in front of the board or it could hit you. And I had never seen a board snap so quickly forward because his leash pulled it forward. And I was like, that's dangerous. We ought to give him a longer leash or figure that out at some point. And being me, I just kept surfing and thinking about myself, enjoying my waves. And then we were surfing, and I had seen him, and then all of a sudden I looked around and I couldn't find my dad. And I was like, where is he? And I looked in towards the shore, and I saw my dad floating face down in the water. So my dad had been hit in the back of the head with his surfboard. From his account, it felt like a bolt of lightning going through his neck. So my dad had been knocked unconscious and was face down in the water, and I had no idea how long he had been there. So we're the only two people at the beach, to our knowledge, and so I started paddling to him as fast as I could. I couldn't get there quickly, so I ditched my board and was just doing everything I could to get there, and I saw this woman running along the beach, which I was worried at first. I couldn't tell if he was looking for something, if he dropped his watch, or I didn't know what was going on. But when I saw her sprinting at him, I knew something couldn't be right. So we both get to my dad about the same time and pull him out of the water, and he's, hung down, not conscious. So we drag him up, and we're yelling at him. I actually used to train lifeguards in Maine, thankfully, at a summer camp that I grew up at, so I knew what to do. So we dragged him up on the beach, and he had I couldn't feel a pulse on his neck. I couldn't even get my fingers to really grab on anything up there, so I felt on his wrists, and there was no pulse and no breathing. So I started doing CPR on my dad, and yelling at him and trying to get him to wake up anything I could. So my dad is lying there, and I'm running through my head, thinking about what my trainer taught me, what would I tell my, lifeguards, what am I missing here? And I knew we probably needed an AED. That was the only way we were going to get him to come back. So I told she's a French-Canadian woman who speaks broken English. I said, you keep doing CPR, I'm going to go up to my car and get a phone and call 911. So I ran up to my car and grabbed my phone and called 911, told them where we were. Don't know how I had service at this beach. There's no service there. And they said they'd be on their way. And on the way down, I just remembered, I had taken Bold already, and I remember just asked, and I just called out and I said, I can't do this. You know where I'm at. I can't do this without my dad. You know my connection with him. So I knew my dad was going to make it. It's the only thought I could believe, that my dad was going to make it, because I knew I couldn't go on without him successfully. So I get down there, I threw my phone on the beach and continue doing CPR on my dad. The woman who was with me was on the side that his watch was on. He always wears a watch because we're always late to whatever if we're surfing together, so my mom makes him wear a watch. So she kept an eye on the time, and eventually my dad started to breathe a little bit. He still did not seem very lifeless, but was starting to breathe a little bit. And so I started to gain some hope. And so continued CPR. Eventually, he starts breathing pretty well. And Natasha, the woman, grabs my hand and throws it onto his chest and says, "Feel this." And his heartbeat had come back. And she said that when she saw his eyes like dilate, that she saw the life come back into him, and that when his heart started beating, that it was just pounding, like something had just forced it back into no AED, nothing. So paramedics arrived, they took over. He was breathing at this point. As we left the beach, he was trying to pull the oxygen mask off his face on the stretcher, and he looked up at me very confused and said, "Benjamin, what happened?" I said, "Dad, you were in a surfing accident." And he said, "Did you save my life?" And I said, "Yes." So my dad goes to the hospital. I haven't seen him move his legs yet, so I don't know what's going to be. And I go call my mom. She knows something's not right as soon as I call her. I've done that a couple times. My dad's a little accident prone, and so am I. And I met my mom, and I said, it's not good. We went to the hospital, and my dad had pinched his spinal cord and knocked himself out. He was face down in the water and knew he was unable to move. He couldn't pick his head up, and he said, just gotta wait for Benjamin to get here. He'll either save you, or if not, I'm comfortable where I'm going. And just repeated Psalm 23 over in his head, and then passed out. And next thing he knows, he's waking up on the beach alive. So, and he has if you want to hear more about it, I'd love to share more sometime one-on-one. He has some otherworldly experiences, which is pretty cool to hear about. And he loves to talk about it. But that's another story. So we found out that he had broken 2 areas in his spinal cord. So he had a rod, 2 plates, and a bunch of screws put in his neck. He had 3 vertebrae fused together, and had full movement, legs, arms, everything. He had a little bit of nerve damage, has no brain damage, 15 minutes of CPR. This is like, the statistical chance of all this is non-existent. So my dad's road to recovery was, to him, seemed like a long time. To us, we couldn't believe it. So this is him. Lead generating here, you can see nothing stops him from lead generating. Just kidding. The first thing my mom did say when she walked in was, "What are we going to do about all our transactions?" My dad is the rainmaker of our team, so that was certainly entertaining. She was mostly focused on the business. She's a D. So here he is. He's working on emails with clients here. I'm not joking about that either. He did keep in touch with clients and update them what was going on. He was really quick to recover. This is him marrying my best friend about, I think, a month later, a month after his surgery. He was able to perform the ceremony for them. And then this is him and Natasha, our angel, who was there to help me on the beach. She's an amazing woman and has an incredible story that makes the story that I just told even more crazy. So he did recover, and now he's back to living life. My dad has full ability. He is able to surf. This is 1 year after his accident. He was able, we did a ceremony at the beach, and he was able to get in the water and catch a wave. He's definitely not as good as he used to be, but that was really fun to be able to get back in the water with him. And this is him with my sister's 2 kids that are now 2 years old, which he spends most of his free time hanging out with them. They're amazing, beautiful children. And this is his new life. So this is my new realization that family is everything. This is my family here, my brother Lucian, my older brother, older sister Jamie, younger sister Juliet, who lives in Georgia with me, and that's me, probably thinking of some mischievous thing to do, and my parents Lori and Rick. This is my new realization from this. This is what I've taken away from this experience. And I'm sure a lot of you have had similar or impactful defining moments that cause you to realize this. So here's our family today. It's grown a little bit and it's growing more. They're the twins, a little older there. They're the funniest kids I've met. And this is the family that I'm looking to start. This is my fiance Mariana, who I met at summer camp in Maine two summers ago, the summer camp that I grew up at. We were engaged a month ago, and we're going to get married in September. We're doing a very short engagement. Thank you. Yeah. She's amazing. I love talking about her. She's an incredible woman, and she's working this year at the University of Georgia Wesley Foundation as an intern there. So she's awesome. So this is a quote. It's Matthew 7:7. That they showed this. This is the last slide in bold. I saw it in 2013. I've seen it twice since then, and I grew up hearing this verse. Keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open to you. And that's from Jesus of Nazareth. And that has stuck out to me every time I've taken bold. And this verse was not going through my head as a verse, but as an emotion. The entire time my dad's accident was happening. I knew there was something that could help me. I knew that I couldn't do it on my own, and I knew that if I asked, it would happen. And that belief carried me through. Whether it made it happen or whether it carried me through is up to you. I certainly know what I think. So this verse has been really huge for me, and the fact that it's in bold and that bold is basically written off of this. And keep on knocking. I mean, come on. Like, are we not in this industry? Yeah, exactly. So my big why is to keep knocking in everything. To be like my dad and keep knocking and keep asking the hard questions, to keep going after it, to keep serving, to keep giving. So if you see me doing anything less than this, let me know. And if you want to join me in this journey to keep knocking, let me know. I'd love to do it together. So I have a challenge now here at this office. I have to take a thriving and rapidly growing market center with a tight-knit community, which I've experienced since I came here, and people kept saying, welcome to the family, and make contributions towards its betterment. That's one challenge. That's a big challenge. It's an amazing office, and my job is to try and make it better. And then I have to fill some shack-size shoes.
I know.
So I came a couple weeks ago, and Regina had done her thing at team meeting, and I was sitting right here, and I was like, wow, I have got a lot of growth to do. So I'm very excited to grow into those shoes. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be here and to do that. And I hope that you'll help me with that. So my commitment to you is to foster an environment of positivity, accountability, and celebration. When I was here last time, Abby was on the panel, and she said that she needed to be in high positivity. It was an environment that she thrived in. I've been in that, and I've been out of that. And I refuse to be out of that any longer. So my goal is to create, or to continue to foster a positive, accountable, and an environment where celebration is regular. And to bring us back to our why in order that we can move forward. We have to go back to our why to move forward. So I hope you'll join me in that, and if I can do anything to help you grow your business, or if there's any way I can encourage you. I love positivity, I love affirmations, I love to get into that stuff, so I'd love to have you come into my office and talk. Even if you're a high producer, I love to talk to people about stuff like that. So thank you very much. That's all I've got, and I really appreciate your time.
So you can see why I'm excited, right? He's a little passionate, he's hard not to love, and wait till he starts talking to you about business. Oh my goodness, hold on to your chairs, that's all I got to say.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
If he's looking to be a team leader, he's got an excellent model for under.
Oh, yes. So, thank you, Jackson, that means a world to me. So, we are a family here at Keller Williams Buckhead, and our family is growing every day, every month, every year, just exponentially growing. And part of that growth is allowing other people to grow as well. I told you that his goal is to be a team leader. One day, today we say hello, but one day we'll be saying goodbye. The best offices, the best companies grow leaders, right? And so, and that's my passion, is leadership and to grow leaders within our organization. And you all are leaders, and you're all growing in the areas that you choose to grow in. And if you ever want to grow into any kind of leadership within Keller Williams, please let me know, and we'll put you on that path as well. Part of that when I got here was I had a conversation with each and every agent that I could get my hands on, and every staff member that worked with me, and I had a long conversation with Regina one day, and I said, so what do you want to do? And she said, I want to be a team leader. And I said, okay, what are we going to do to get you there? And she's like, I'm not sure yet, but we're going to figure it out together. And we've had lots and lots of conversation about her and her leadership abilities and opportunities and things like that. And you all know that Regina has, in a very short period of time, created a very, very positive name for herself. She has never met a stranger. I tease her all the time and say she takes a selfie with everybody she meets, including the waiters, the waitresses, the bag boy at the grocery store. She's like, no, I don't. Yes, you do. Yes, she does. She totally does. And she's like, so I looked through my phone the other day, and I guess I do take a lot of selfies. But that's what makes her so awesome, is that she's never met a stranger. You know, she takes people in under her wing, and she has connections with them on such a deep level, which is part of her opportunity for growth, because she latches onto us, and we grow through her, right? So she's had that connection now with another opportunity, and it happens to be the #1 market center in all of Keller Williams. It's not just a great market center, it's the #1 market center of all Keller Williams. And they've asked her to come and join them on their leadership team. And who can hold her back, right? This is a phenomenal opportunity, and no, it's not a team leader role. It's another productivity coaching role, but my goodness, what an opportunity. So we are losing our amazing, talented friend and family member, Regina, and so I want to give her an opportunity to share with you today, since today is the last team meeting. And then don't forget to please go on and create a Facebook event. So please go on there and let us know if you're coming on Thursday night. From 4 to 6, it's just Keller Williams Buckhead. We're going to have some alone time with her. And then at 6 o'clock, we're inviting all of her friends, the bag boy, all those folks get to come and have selfies with her. And there's a lot of them, trust me. They're all coming at 6 o'clock. Yeah, oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. The parking is limited, very, very limited at this restaurant. So consider Ubering or piling up in your cars together. It's not far from the office
It's right
here.
around the corner from here.
What's it called?
Gypsy,
Whiskey Mistress.
Whiskey Mistress, yeah. So, and it's a several level restaurant bar place. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You've got a lot of fun things planned. So anyway, come on up, Regina, and let us love on you one last time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, over the last 2 weeks, I have had a lot to think about. And I saw Benjamin sitting right here, and most of us didn't even know who he was on the day that he was talking about Abby's panel up here, right? And what I started to think about was when we shared our conversation, the first thing I know that would matter to me. If I was my mother, what would matter to her about me when she left? And my mother and I had a great opportunity to have that conversation. And she said to me, she said, I want to leave because I know you're going to be crying all the time. And for everyone in this room, you guys know she was right? When my mother left in March of 2011, I have not stopped crying since, in one form or another. For someone, about someone, because of someone, it has just been that thing. And so, I started thinking, what would I want from my family? You. If something happened to me. And that thing started to look like this. I would want someone that you all could trust, right? I would want someone that you knew cared, and I would want someone that I knew would be able to help you get where you want to be. That's your dream, your hopes, your desires. And I will tell you that in all of my thoughts over the last 2 weeks, I couldn't come up with any reason why I could say, I'm afraid that this is not going to be a good experience. In our conversation, Benjamin had proven to me that my departure meant nothing outside of a new opportunity. And so may I just be honest with you all and express some thoughts that people have had? And we know what they are, right? You're young. Well, most of the people that I've coached have been young, in my opinion. They've been younger than I, so they're young. And I will not ever, ever allow them to believe that because of their age, they're not able to be successful. So that's one elimination, right? And then the other one was, well, he's not like you. Well, yeah, he's not like me. And that's the most beautiful part, because everybody has an opportunity to pour in you. You've gotten what you've gotten from me, whether you're in my program or not, and you know that everything that I've given from my heart. So you have to trust the fact that by saying, do I trust him to be the person that will lead you guys to where you want to be, I will absolutely say, yes, I trust him. And if that's the piece that you need to move forward without any hesitation, please do so. Because I remember in late 2014, I was an agent and I became the PC in this market center. And boy, was there some trust and there was some lack of trust, right? Really had to work to prove that I cared about you, that you could trust me and I could help you. And the only thing that shows is the results. So because we had 2017 of June be our best year at KW Buckhead ever, then you know the work was put in. So all I say is allow him to be the great person that he is, and band with him so that you guys can be the absolute best market center. Now, I want to compare myself to Benjamin for just a second, because conversely, I'm the same person in North Carolina. They don't know me. They don't know if I can help them. They don't know if they can trust me or even if I care. And so now my job is to become that person. So when I started talking to them, I think the same thing that you all get, they got from the beginning, that I don't need a stranger, that I'm not afraid to be in the uncomfortable place. One of which, and I'm looking at her right now, Crystal has been, like, for me in this market center, I'm just gonna share my story, okay? And then 2 days from now, I'm out of here. So this is the honesty. So Crystal has been the bad egg in the market center, right? She's the one that gets to say it, do it, right? And she stands behind it. So you're always looking for role models, right? So honestly, for the last 3 years, I've been like, I just want to be like Crystal. You know what I mean?
Bring my husband over here. So
I was like, she get to say everything. I've coined delicious from her, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so many things that even though she's not in the market center engaged, touching and feeling, she's impactful. And that, Crystal, I take with me from you. So I'm going to North Carolina to be the bad egg, okay? Give me some more language so I can
give you some great language.
And then I look at all our leaders, and I just want to address a few of you all that's in here, because every last one of you have done something for me. And so I'm going to go, I think, I'm coming back to you. So, Abby. I look at Abby, and Abby is the biggest go-getter. Like, she's like calculated, she gets it done. You know, she's all about family, and she manages her time very well. Who would want to do that? If you could get all of that done, I'm going to a market center at 560 plus agents. And so we don't have time to waste, right? So I want to be able to take what I've learned from her into my world at KW Valentine. And then I want to say something to Brandy, because Brandy, if you know her, she's pretty quiet, would you say? She's just like fluid, going through the motions. She's in, she's out, and she does what she has to do. So one day, we were in a hall, and Brandy looked at me, and she says, I want you to know I'm very proud. And the thing that got me most about what she said to me, and she says, cream rises to the top. So she had seen all of the efforts that I put in, and noticed that even if there was some reluctancy to believe that I was going to be a successful PC, she had the evidence. And for that, I'll be forever thankful. And if I could just be as bad, not the bad A, but the bad as you, and the physique and her presence, I'm totally okay with that. Kathy, Kathy, grace and elegance is what I received from you. How to have the sophisticated nature, as crazy as I am, I can be two people. I accept that and I receive that. I am a woman of class, and then I am a crazy A woman. So in that, I want to say thank you for being the example of what class is all about in our market center. Jackson, I said I was going to say for last, but the moment I met Jackson, I asked him for 15 minutes coffee. We looked, we talked, and he said, you're it. You just have it. So whatever you want to do it. And he has not ever changed his mindset about that. So we were in the hall about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and he's like, so Regina, I saw you were at an event. You were doing something, speaking at the event. And he's like, so, that was great. And I was like, yeah, I was, facilitating for a friend of mine on one of his events. And he said, so when are you going to be doing that for yourself? Again, great leaders push you. And all I could say is, I'm on my way. Then I had to let the cat out the bag, and then the cat got out the bag. I don't know, just from overseeing. Not from you, I know. And so in that, he celebrated so loudly in the hallway his affection and love for me, and everything that I've done, and everything that he sees in me, and my ability to do in the future. And so forever and ever and ever, I will see you on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. As long as you're invited. People come. All right, and so now, let me just say this about Brian. So we had our time where we didn't have a team leader, thank you, and he stepped right in. And I had this energy to just like help him step right in. And sometimes that energy can be positive, right? It can be not so positive, depending on what side of the aggression that I am. And so we jumped in together, and he just looked at me one day. He's like, you need to take this, like run with this. And so because of his belief in me and his vision and the ability to see just the raw potential, so this is the evidence, right? Just the raw potential of who you are, that he says, let's just do this. And so for that, he's like a brother to me, will always, man, this one right here, he shows up like Superman out of nowhere. We were hot in this room yesterday, and all of a sudden, here he comes. Right? With a fan, the whole 9 yards. Like, da, 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 da. So thank you very much, okay? Son McKenzie.
Delicious.
No, this is it. You are the example. For women of color, you are a leader. When you drive in a direction of a high level of success as you have accomplished, I want every person in the room to understand that it has never been easy. And yet you have done so in a quiet, controlled nature. So what I've learned from you is to keep calm. I may be like a duck underwater, but I'm going to stay calm and honor of you. So keep being the example. And there's a lot of people out in the world that will need to know who you are. So please make sure you do your job and what that means. Matthew was like, again, like you. Young, come in, whippersnapper, right? Let's do, throw this weight, the whole 9 yards. And all I could do is be impressed with his power. Like, confidence. You really can't tell him anything. No, you really can't.
Unless your name's Brianna. A lot of things.
Yes. And yet, even with all of his knowledge and wisdom at such a young age, he still was willing to listen to the old lady. And so, I just think he's the king, okay? I do. And when he shaved his head, it was a whole new dimension at that point. Took it to a whole nother level, and I was like, yes, that's it, that's you. And so what I take from Matthew is the ability that as long as you're willing to grind it out, to press it out, to work hard, there is nothing in the world that you can't have and accomplish. So thank you. Nikita, my soul sister. We relate in so many ways. It's just so crazy. It's just she's the quietest leader in the Market Center, and yet she's a leader. And you will never ever know when she has that water on a rapid pace. You won't ever see it. And so the things that I say is that the only way you know that there is something is know your family, right? So your parents can look at you and they can tell when you're in distress, right? You can look at your children and tell something's wrong, whether they say something or not. And I remember one day she came in, she had a look on her face. And because we had the intimate relationship, I was like, what's going on? And in that, we were able to talk about it and move forward. And so if you want someone that will give you her time and will talk through anything that you need to talk through, Nikita's right there. I already got her slated to come to a training for me in Valentine, so because her sister lives right around the corner, so.
Hey, 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 hey. That's all I got.
I'm just saying, you know, we use talent, and you have all this talent in this market center. So I believe in leads, listings, and leverage. So I'm skipping over the leads and listings and get to the leverage and have the beautiful Nikita come out and do something for us when she's in the area. So my hallmate, Tim Berube. If I ever thought I wasn't beautiful, if there was any reason for me to second guess that I was pretty, every day Tim Berube would come to his office. He would look at me and say, "Hey, beautiful." We're talking about affirmation, right? Hey, beautiful. Because I believe that he knows that in all that I do, there's a lot of energy that's released. So that little subtle note to me was reaffirming that I have the energy and I'm pretty to do whatever it is that needs to be done in the market center.
Don't worry, Benjamin, I won't bet.
He is though, so we'll just say that.
So, for everyone else in this room, my Stacy, I gotta just say Stacy one time. Stacy and Ted, y'all are together, so I love Stacy before, but Stacy and Ted. Their willingness, their willingness to not share with me meant so much to me because they were willing to pour into the agents and give them transparency. It wasn't like, oh, I just want you to know this in theory. They were like, this is our story, and this is where we were, this is where we are now. So that really painted a picture of what someone can do in a matter of 1 to 3 years in this real estate business if they just stay to it. And Ted's just, you know, he's got this weird sense of humor, right? You're like, wait a minute, you just checked me? No, that was good though. That was something kind. So they really are like my brother and sister. I mean, I go by their office often and I'll just go knock on the door and be like, hey, and they're like, come on in. So, I mean, that's really like what family is. And so I know Ted wants to see me fit and he's just gonna make it happen. So, then I will say to my friends and my family, right? Elena, thank you for the hot yoga experience that you just insisted that I do. And she was in high fashion. She said, you're gonna do this. And I was like, but it's hot. No, you're gonna do it. Lift your leg. So then I became scared. Me of all people, I'm afraid of Elena. And she's like, oh, you coming today? I said, please help me out of this.
So I respond. I mean, it's important. And we did do the what is it?
Oxygen?
No, the selfie. I'm not the self-esteem, you know.
That lady is frightening. She's small, but she is scary. You want to know how she got so many deals closed? Well, let me just tell you. It just was not happening. And so all of my friends and family, really and truly, those that I have gotten a chance to be very, very personal with and those who I haven't, I'll just say to you all that I have enjoyed every single moment of my time here. And just think, January 2014, I started here. And I remember writing on my vision board that I wanted to be licensed in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Alabama. One of which because I'm from Alabama. Two, which is like, what's around Georgia, right? This made sense. And so I wrote it down. And the irony is now that I'm going to be licensed in Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So I definitely have to go ahead with the fulfillment of the Alabama. And so, in my final note, I'll just say to you that when I met with them and with the Valentine leaders, they said to me that We see that you are a productivity coach, and yet we also see your tremendous ability to lead. So they awarded me the Director of Growth and Development. And so over the 560 agents or so, I'll be touching them in one way or the other. So the only way I see, you know, there's a title for it, and yet there's a reality. So I still get the productivity coach with the idea of having a strong leadership position. And so I will say to you that my promise is that within the next 3 years, you guys will see a tremendous amount of growth. And the only thing that I will share in anything and everything that I do, you may think that something got in my eye, but I will always give you a message. And the message is a quick right eye wink to let you know that I'm thinking of you wherever you see me. All right? Know that I love you. So if you see me on a video, what are you gonna do?
Wink.
All you gotta do is look at this. If it gets out, yeah, just a little wink, but you know, just something to the right eye. Please pay attention to it because you are my family and I love you all so very much. And the only thing that I ask in passing is that you guys enjoy Benjamin, give him all the love that you have given me, and don't let it take as long as it did. Okay? Love him starting now, and he will love you back. Okay?
Can we stop for, can I say something for a moment to Regina? To Miss Regina? You know, it's been a very, very short time that I've known you. But I'm very appreciative of your presence. You have sort of reignited, made me remember some things about myself. And though we haven't spent a lot of time, I've always got the sense that we shared a lot of communication. We shared a lot of looks from across the room. We shared a lot of I see you in passing. And it has been the deepest, the most loving, the most caring and passionate experience that I've had since I've been in Georgia. And I'm just grateful. Thank you. And good luck.
Thank you very much. May I say one more thing?
Of course.
So, I just wouldn't be the professional that I am to not acknowledge our leader. So if I could have had Susan as a leader from day one, I know my story would be even more amazing. I only got a chance to lead with her for a year, just over. And imagine what that would have been if it had been the entire 3 years. So with that, I say I love you, and I want nothing but whatever it is you want, i.e. We know, right? And so if there's ever anything that I can do for you, our market center, I'm just a phone call away.
And 3.5 hours in the car.
Yeah, you're right.
I promised that I was gonna give you the top teams, one of our favorite things to do. So we're gonna end this on a fun note. So more fun, even more fun note. So let's talk about the top groups. There are 4 groups in our office. Number 4 group this month, Thompson and Associates. Number 3 group in the office, Kathy Lamont and Associates. Mr. and Mrs. Seymour and Associates, just for us. Number 2, for the month of June, the Sterling team. And the number 1 group for June, Christine Bradley team. Yay! Yeah. She's on Facebook?
Yeah.
Congratulations! Where's the camera? I forget now. Congratulations. All right, so now the number 5 teams, top 5 teams. Teams are 2 and 2 licensees only. Paul Diana with Habitat Real Estate Services. Gibson Breen and Company, Audrey. Is Audrey in the audience today? I didn't see her. I saw her here yesterday, but I haven't seen her today. So Gibson Breen. Abby Shepherd team, number 3. Miller Morris Home. And Crystal Clear team. All right, top 15 associates. These are individual agents, top 15 in the office. Number 15, Leanne Saxton. Pam Covington. Chris Card. Jennifer Haggard. Annie Tran. Closing out those deals so she can pay for that fabulous wedding, Brandy Hunter. Ada Freedy. David Gallant. Patter Byrne, unless you hang out at the front desk, you'll never know who Patter is. Dana Turner. On the map again. And the top 5, number 5, Tyler Russell. Number 4, she's going to get a big kick out of this, and I wish she was here, Tanya Ellerby! Happy birthday, Tanya. Elena Geese, number 3. Jackson Bass, number 2. And this person said, I hate that top 15 list, but I'm going to be on that top 15 list, and she worked hard to get a ton of deals closed, and she came out number 1, Kristen Mann! Thank you guys for an awesome June. We've had a phenomenal first half of the year. It's only getting better. Be sure that you RSVP quickly for Regina's party so that we can get a head count for Christmas. All right? Love you all. Have a great day.
What breakdown?